Yes, sir.
Okay. Let me give today's lecture. Good afternoon to all. Today's lecture, three topics I'm going to teach you: broadside array, end-fire array. The third one is pattern multiplication. So first one is broadside array. Second one is end-fire array. Third one is pattern multiplication. So these two topics are very important. Yesterday I was telling about the importance of broadside array and end-fire array. So those two topics we are going to discuss today. But before going to those topics, let me give a brief review on the previous lecture. That every day I want to give an idea about the previous lecture so that the distance between you and the subject will be very closer. So introduction to antenna array. Why should I go for an antenna array? Because I am not satisfied with a single antenna element whose gain and directivity is very low. So to go for a higher application, a high frequency application like point-to-point communication, radar and the space application, I would like to go for antenna array. In that case, I can increase the directivity as well as the gain parallelly, thereby increasing the electrical size of the antenna. So there are 5 parameters, the binding factor with respect to overall radiation pattern of the antenna. First one is geometrical configuration of the array. Second one, displacement between the element. Third one, how much amplitude of current is flowing to the element. Fourth one, what is the phase difference between the adjacent element. Last one, relative radiation pattern. So there are 4 types of antenna arrays available: broadside array, end-fire array, collinear array, and a parasitic array. So what do you mean by broadside array? Simply we can design broadside array in terms by looking at this diagram. There are 7 antenna elements, A0 to A6 are spaced very closer to each other with a distance d. Uniform spacing is available. And the axis of this, the dotted line is nothing but the axis of the antenna array. So in a broadside array, if the radiation is maximum in a direction perpendicular to axis of the antenna array, it is said to be broadside array. So what do you mean by end-fire array? The totally opposite for broadside array. So here also I am coming across a number of antenna elements, especially in this diagram A0 to A4, 5 antenna elements are there. They are uniformly spaced with a distance of d, and they are grouped together. The dotted line shows the axis of the antenna array. You can see the direction of maximum radiation. It is not occurring perpendicular to axis of the array. It is along the axis of the antenna array. In such a case, it is called end-fire array. The third one is collinear array. In the case of the collinear array, we come across 2 arrangements. One is vertical arrangement. The second one is horizontal arrangement. So end-to-end connection of antenna element is said to be a collinear array. In the vertical case as well as in the horizontal case, you can see the direction of maximum radiation perpendicular to axis of the array. This is the axis of the antenna array. Direction of maximum radiation perpendicular to it. Here also perpendicular. In such a case, this antenna array is called collinear array. Let us go to parasitic array. I was telling the meaning of parasitic element yesterday. Parasitic means an element which is totally dependent on other element is called parasitic. Opposite is active element. We can call parasitic element as a passive element. So here 3 elements are available in this antenna. One is the reflector. Second one is the folder dipole. Third one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 directors are available. So directors and reflectors are parasitic element. Dipole is the active element. And this one is the transmission line which feeds a signal. So this antenna contains only one active element but a number of parasitic elements. So the array antenna is called parasitic array antenna. The application of this antenna is for TV communication, TV broadcasting. This antenna was used in the olden days, but nowadays we are using a different antenna called dish antenna. So types of antenna array. The third topic which we were discussing about yesterday is array of 2-point sources. We have taken an array, the smallest array. Smallest array means 2 elements will be the smallest array. Array means elements of symmetrical type or symmetrical in nature. We have taken a simplest array, 2-element array. We want to do some calculation for the array. We want to draw the radiation pattern for the array. Why means we have taken a 2-element array means I can, if I compute for a 2-element array, I can go for a n point or n element array. So that becomes easier. So initially we go for a analysis of 2-point element source or 2-point antenna array. So in that case, we come across 3 conditions. The first one is equal magnitude and equal phase. The second one is equal magnitude and opposite phase. The third one is unequal magnitude and any phase. So for the 3 conditions, we are going to find maxima direction. We are going to find the maxima direction, minima direction, off power point, and finally draw the radiation pattern, except for the third case. But initially, to find the maxima, minima, and off power point, we need to find the electric field, total electric field strength at a point P because of this antenna array. So case 1, current with equal magnitude and the phase. You can see the diagram. Antenna element 1 and 2, they are spaced D. Between the origin and the antenna element is D by 2. Phi is the angle between the radiation and the z-axis. R1, R and R2 are the path differences. We are going to calculate the total electric field strength at a distance P because of antenna element 1 and 2. After calculating the total electric field strength ET, we are going to calculate maxima, minima, off power point and the radiation pattern for case 1. So for that, we are calculating the expression for ET. This one is the expression for ET, case number 1. So with that, we move to calculate maxima direction. So angle part becomes a plus or minus 1 is maximum. So in that case, we are finding the maxima angle 90 and 270 degree. Similarly, minima. Minima means equal to 0. We are finding here is 90 and 270 degree. But here it will be 0 and 180 degree. The third one is off power point direction. So off power point means 0.707 of the maximum value, and that is equivalent to plus or minus 1 by root 2. So we are able to find the off power point angle plus or minus 60 or plus or minus 120. Now we got the maxima angle, minima angle and off power angle. We are able to draw the radiation pattern for case 1. Similarly, for case 2, current equal in magnitude and opposite phase. So we are calculating the expression for ET in terms of sine angle. Then we go for maxima angle. The maxima angle 0 and 180, which is totally opposite to case 1. Minima direction 90 and 270. This is also opposite to case 1 direction. Then off power point remains the same. We are able to draw the radiation pattern. Figure of 8 pattern. This is in horizontal manner. Case 1 is in vertical manner. So case 3, unequal in amplitude and any phase. We are going to calculate only the total field strength due to antenna element 1 and 2. So that is given by ET. Here ET equal to E1 into 1 plus K cos pi plus J sin pi. We are writing the amplitude expression and the magnitude angle expression separately. We are not bothering about the radiation pattern in case 3. By this, the topic has come to an end. N element uniform linear array. I was telling the meaning of linear. Linearity means if all the sources are available in a straight line is called linearity. Uniform means if there is a progressive phase shift between the adjacent element is same means it is called uniform. So we have discussed about 2-element uniform linear antenna array, but this one is n-element uniform linear antenna array. By looking at the diagram, you can see n number of elements are available. 0 is the first element, 1 is the second element, n minus 1 is the nth element. We are calculating ET at distant point P because of all the antenna element. That is given by the expression ET. So after getting the expression ET, we are calculating a parameter called array factor, sine of angle divided by sine angle, sine n by 2 psi divided by sine 1 by 2 psi. where psi is the total phase difference. Then we are finding the maximum value for ET. Normalized value means any value divided by maximum value. So we got 1 by n into array factor. So your normalized array factor will be 1 by n into normal ordinary array factor. So with that, we have discussed 4 topics yesterday. Introduction to antenna array, types of antenna array, 2-element antenna array, n-element antenna array. Now we are entering into the 2 important topics, broadside array and end-fire array. So this broadside array and end-fire array must start with this expression. Start with this diagram, this n-element uniform array. If I go to broadside array, I can call it as n-element uniform broadside array. If I go to end-fire array, I can substitute this diagram as n-element uniform end-fire array. That is the only difference. And the expression for ET, array factor and all common for both the broadside array and end-fire array. So I was telling the meaning of broadside array, BSA. So what is broadside array? Broadside array means maximum radiation occurs in a direction perpendicular to the array axis. You know the axis of the array. If maximum radiation occurs perpendicular to array axis, it is said to be the broadside array. And all the elements are fed with equal magnitude and equal phase. We know the total phase difference, psi equal to KD cos pi plus alpha. Normalized array factor equal to sin n by 2 psi divided by n sin 1 by 2 psi. Now we are going to calculate maxima, null point, then minor low point, that is called secondary maxima, beam width and directivity. 5 factors we are going to determine for each array, antenna array. So up to this it's common. Up to this it is common to n-element uniform linear array, because this array factor we have obtained from the previous topic, n-element uniform linear array. So up to this everything is common for broadside and end-fire array. Let me start. So we are going to calculate 5 important parameters. One is major lobe, that is the maxima angle. Second one is null point, null angle. Third one is secondary maxima. Secondary maxima means maximum for the minor lobe. Then fourth one is beam width of the major lobe. Fifth one directivity. Similarly, these 5 parameters we are going to calculate for end-fire array. So broadside array, give the definition for broadside array. Give the definition for broadside array. Draw the diagram. Give the definition for broadside array. Draw the diagram. Get the expression for the total field strength ET. Get the expression for array factor. Calculate 5 parameters. So what are the 5 parameters? Maxima angle. Second one null point. Third one secondary maxima. Fourth one beam width. Fifth one directivity. Same procedure we are going to apply for end-fire array also. Same procedure we are going to apply for end-fire array also. Now look at the broadside array. First parameter, major lobe. Major lobe means I am going to determine the maxima angle for the major lobe. So we know that psi equal to KD cos pi plus alpha equal to 0. But in the case of broadside array, alpha value equal to 0, because we have seen equal amplitude and equal phase. So alpha will be 0 and psi equal to 0 for the maximum value. So psi equal to KD cos pi plus alpha equal to 0. KD cos pi plus alpha equal to 0. Cos pi equal to 0. When cos pi equal to 0, pi m equal to 90 or 270. So the maximum angle for the major lobe equal to 90 and 270 degree. We got this from the expression for the total phase difference. Second one, null point. Null point means if the array factor is equivalent to 0, you will get the null point. So denominator will become 0. I am taking only the numerator from this equation, sin n by 2 psi. So sin n by 2 psi equal to 0. N by 2 psi pi equal to pi n equal to sin inverse of 0. Sine inverse of 0 equal to plus or minus n pi. In the case of BSI, alpha equal to 0. In the place of psi, I am substituting KD cos pi plus alpha here. Psi equal to KD cos pi plus alpha here. Substituting alpha equal to 0. And I am calculating pi n. Because pi n is the angle corresponding to the null point. So pi n equal to cos inverse of plus or minus n lambda divided by nd, where n equal to integer 1, 2, 3. Substitute k equal to 2 pi by lambda here while substituting alpha equal to 0. So far two parameters we have calculated. One is angle for the maxima, major lobe. Second one is the angle for the null point, which is given by the expression pi m 90 or 270. Here pi n equal to cos inverse of n lambda divided by nd. Now let us see the third parameter, maxima for the minor lobe. So regarding the minor lobe, one parameter is pending. It is called secondary maxima. So first one is maxima. Generally maxima means major lobe. Second one, null point. Third one, secondary maxima. So secondary maxima means minor lobe. Primary maxima means major lobe. So in the case of minor lobe, I am substituting sine n by 2 psi equal to 1. If I go for 0, I will get the null point. If I want to go for the secondary maxima, numerator equal to 1. So from there, I am calculating, substituting the value of psi equal to kd cos pi plus alpha. Then alpha equal to 0, k equal to 2 pi by lambda. And I'm getting the expression pi s equal to cos inverse of plus or minus 2s plus 1 into lambda divided by 2nd. In the place of n, I'm using the parameter s. So previously you can see we were using n. You can use the same value also, same variable also here, small letter n instead of s. So now we got an angle with respect to secondary maxima. Third parameter is also over. Remember, whatever procedure we are following for the broadside array is totally applicable for end-fire array also. Now fourth parameter. In the case of broadside array, I would like to calculate the fourth parameter, beam width of the major lobe. So look at the diagram. What is the definition for a beam width of the major lobe? Twice the angle between the first null and the major lobe maximum. So this is the first null line. And this one is the major lobe maximum. And the angle between the first null and the major lobe maximum equal to pi b. Pi b is nothing but the beam width. But beam width between the first null is 2 into pi b definition. So 2 into 90 minus pi n. So you remember that this is pi n and this one is pi b. So pi b plus pi n equal to 90 degree. In the place of 90 minus pi n, I can put 90 minus pi b also. So 90 minus pi b is nothing but pi n. So 2 into pi n. So what is 90 minus pi b? 90 minus pi b equal to pi n. So what is the value of pi n? Pi n we have calculated from the second parameter. This one is the second parameter, cos inverse of plus or minus n lambda by nd. I'm getting and substituting here. Pi n equal to cos inverse of plus or minus n lambda divided by nd. I would like to take cosine on both the sides. Why? I want to find the angle pi b. So I'm taking cos on both the side. I will get the sine pi b equal to plus or minus n lambda divided by nd. Then for n equal to 1, because null point n equal to 1, it becomes a plus or minus lambda by nd. So sine of smaller angle will be equivalent to the angle. For example, sine, if pi b is very smaller, means sine of pi b will be equivalent to pi b. So pi b equal to plus lambda divided by nd. Now beam width between the first null equal to 2 into pi b. So 2 into lambda divided by nd. So this nd is nothing but the length of the array. N equal to number of element, d is the distance. So I am substituting L in the place of nd. So it becomes 2 by L by lambda radian. So 1 radian equal to some value will be there. I am substituting, I think 1 radian equal to 57.3 degree. I am converting this radian to degree. So 2 radian will become 2 into 57.3, 114.6 divided by L by lambda degree. So beam width between the first null is known. So what is half power beam width? Divide this value by 2. So I will get 1 by L by lambda when I divide it by 2 radian in terms of radian. in terms of angle equal to 1 radian equal to 57.3 degree divided by L by lambda, and directivity equal to 2 divided by 2 into L by lambda. So I come from the beginning. We have taken a broadside array. Broadside array means n element uniform linear broadside array I have taken. So from the previous topic, I am taking the normalized array factor for the n element. Psi value also I am taking from there. I calculate 5 parameters. One is the major lobe, second one is the null point, third one is the secondary maxima, fourth one is the beam width, fifth one is directivity. So everything we are calculating either from the total phase difference or from the array factor, especially numerator of the array factor. So phase difference pi equal to kd cos pi plus alpha. I am substituting alpha equal to 0, psi equal to 0, calculating pi m. I am taking the numerator of array factor equating to 0, calculating pi n. I am taking the numerator of the array factor equating to 1, calculating the value of pi s. Pi s is nothing but the secondary maxima. I am using the definition of beam width, substituting the value of pi n, calculating the value of pi b. Then I am going for BW, Fn and HPW in terms of radian and degree. Finally, I am just writing an expression for directivity. So whatever procedure we have followed for broadside array, equally we are going to follow for the n-fire array. So any difficulty, you can put it in the chat box now. Any difficulty in this broadside array? Any difficulty in broadside array? Okay. Now two students are asking. One is regarding the beam width. Another one is the major lobe. Let me go to the presentation again. So beam width means the angle between the first null and the maxima of the major lobe. So this is the first null line, and this one is the maxima of the major lobe. See, this diagram is the major lobe. This shape is nothing but the major lobe. We are coming across two lines. One is null point line, another one maxima of the major lobe. So the angle between the first null and the maximum of the major lobe is called beam width. But beam width between the first null means you have to calculate both the side. I am doing only one side. So beam width between the first null means this angle. So BW Fn equal to 2 into pi b. Pi b we are calculating 2 into pi b. So what is pi b? Pi b means 90 minus pi n. 90 minus pi n. Because pi b plus pi n put together 90 degree. You can see this one. This one is pi n. This one is pi b. And this is 2 pi b. So in the place of 90 minus pi n, I can put pi b. In the place of 90 minus pi b, I can put pi n. So 90 minus pi n equal to 90 minus pi b. Both are equal. So 90 minus pi n equal to pi b. 90 minus pi b equal to pi n. So pi n I have already calculated. Where I have calculated from the second parameter here. Second parameter pi n equal to cos inverse of n lambda divided by nd. So I know the value of pi n. So I am substituting pi n equal to cos inverse of plus or minus n lambda divided by nd. I am calculating pi b. From that I am calculating pi b. Because in the place of pi n, I can put 90 minus pi b. Why I want to calculate pi b? Why do you want to calculate pi b? If pi b is known, BW Fn can be calculated. If that is known, HPBW can be calculated. So that is our idea. Already pi n is available. So I want to calculate pi b from pi n. From pi b, I want to calculate BW Fn. That is why we go for the beam width definition and the expressions coming across BWFN and HPW. Now let us go to end-fire array. So I was telling the difference between end-fire array and the broadside array in the beginning of the lecture. Broadside array means maximum radiation perpendicular to axis of the antenna array. That you keep it in mind. End-fire array means maximum radiation along the axis of the array. Otherwise, the arrangement of the antenna, they are equal in amplitude as well as they are equal in amplitude, but they will be opposite in phase. That is another difference we are coming across. In the previous case, currents are equal amplitude and equal phase. But here, equal amplitude and opposite phase. So there, maxima perpendicular to array axis. Here, maxima along the array axis of the antenna. So these are the two differences between broadside array and end-fire array. But the array factor and the phase difference expressions are common. So where we have taken this, we have taken from n-element uniform linear array. Now the first parameter. Again, I am going to calculate 5 parameters. One is the major lobe. Second one is the null point. Third one is secondary maxima. Fourth one beam width. Fifth one directivity. Thereby broadside array or end-fire array will come to an end. So how to calculate major lobe maxima? Psi equal to 0 and we know pi equal to 0 and 180 degree. We know the maximum point 0 and 180 degree under case number 2, 2-element antenna array. So psi equal to KD cos pi plus alpha equal to 0. I am substituting psi equal to 0, pi equal to 0 in the above expression. See, in the previous case alpha equal to 0. But in this case, alpha will not be 0 because I told you opposite amplitude, same amplitude and opposite phase. Opposite phase means alpha value will not be equal to 0. Same amplitude and same phase means alpha will be equal to 0. So here opposite phase means you can see alpha equal to minus KD if pi equal to 0. If pi equal to 180 degree, alpha will be KD. So we are able to get the maximum point 0 and 180 degree. This is already known. We are not getting here. This is already known for a end-fire array. See, the maximum point for broadside array is 90 and 270 degree. The maximum point for end-fire array is 0 and 180 degree. In the case of the broadside array, amplitude are equal and equal phase. But here, equal amplitude and opposite phase. So we are getting the maximum point 0 and 180. First parameter is over. Second parameter, null point. You take the array factor, the numerator of the array factor equal to 0, n by 2 psi, pi equal to pi n, n stands for null point, sine inverse of 0, sine inverse of 0 equal to plus or minus n pi, where n is an integer 1, 2, 3. So in the case of the end-fire array, alpha equal to minus KD. See, in the broadside array, we are substituting alpha equal to 0. So n by 2, in the place of psi, substitute KD cos pi n plus alpha. In the place of alpha, minus KD. So n by 2, KD cos pi n minus KD equal to plus or minus n pi. In the place of K, substitute 2 pi by lambda. You will get the expression like this. Nd by lambda cos pi n minus 1 equal to plus or minus 1. This cos pi n minus 1, we are converting to sine form. Sine square pi n by 2. Sine square pi n by 2 equal to plus or minus n lambda divided by nd. And finally, we are getting the expression for pi n equal to 2 sine inverse of plus or minus root of n lambda divided by 2 nd. So we have calculated now two parameters. We started with the end-fire array. We gave the definition for the end-fire array. In the case of the end-fire array, what is the expression for psi? What is the expression for the normalized factor? Then I'm calculating the 5 important parameter major lobe. In the case of major lobe, we are calculating the maximum angle 0 and 180. In the case of null point, the numerator of the array factor equal to 0, by which we are calculating the pi n. Let us go to the third one, secondary maxima or maxima of minor lobe. Again, consider the array factor. You take only the numerator. The numerator portion equal to 1. Then n by 2 psi equal to pi equal to pi s. S means secondary maxima. You can see the suffix here. N means null point. M means maxima or major lobe. N means null point. S means secondary maxima. To indicate secondary maxima only, we are writing pi s. Substitute psi equal to kd cos pi s plus alpha equal to plus or minus 2s plus 1 into pi by 2. I think this is common for the broadside array also. But we are substituting alpha equal to minus kd, n-fire array. In the case of broadside array, alpha equal to 0. After substituting this, this will become like this. Then finally we are writing pi s equal to cos inverse of this angle part. So this is the expression for maxima of the minor lobe, or it is also called secondary maxima. Fourth parameter, beam width. We already know that beam width between the first null equal to 2 into pi n or 2 into 90 minus pi b. 2 into pi b or 2 into pi n or 2 into 90 minus pi b. So we are taking the pi n. So where is our pi n? Pi n angle is this one. This is the first null point. This one is the second null point. So the angle between this angle is pi n. This angle is pi n. So 2 into pi n equal to BW Fn. Pi n equal to 2 sine inverse of, where you got this from the second parameter. This one. I'm bringing here. Now I'm taking sine on both the sides to cancel. Sine pi n by 2 equal to plus or minus root of n lambda divided by 2 nd. Sine of any smaller angle equal to pi n. So I am removing the sine. Pi n by 2 equal to plus or minus s1. Pi n equal to plus or minus root of n lambda, 2n lambda divided by nd. So we got 4 parameter. But this is not yet over. Pi n equal to this one. For n equal to 1, this will become like this. We want BWFN 2 into pi n. Multiply this by 2. In the place of nd, I am substituting L. Because L means total length of the array factor. Then we are converting, then we are writing plus or minus 2 divided by L by lambda radian. So we are converting radian to degree. Similarly, HPBW equal to BWFN by 2 in terms of radian and in terms of degree. T maximum equal to 4 into L by lambda. Whereas in broadside array, it is 2 into L by lambda, but here it is 4 into L by lambda. So by this, this n-fire array is over. N-fire array is over. So n-fire array, first of all, give the definition for n-fire array. Expression for psi. Expression for the normalized array factor. Calculating the first parameter for the major lobe. Pi m equal to 0 and 180 from the expression for psi. Calculate the null point pi n. Go for secondary maxima calculation. Array factor numerator equal to 1, from which we are calculating pi s. Remember to substitute only alpha equal to minus kd. In the case of broadside array, alpha equal to 0. Then definition for beam width. Take the value of pi n, take sine on both the sides, get an expression for pi n. From pi n, you convert to array factor, array length, from which BWFN is calculated in terms of radian and in terms of degree. Then we go to HPBW in terms of radian and degree, then directivity. So there are 5 parameters. The same procedure, whatever we follow for the broadside array, is applicable for the n-fire array. So before going to the third topic, once again I tell you the differences between broadside array and n-fire array. Broadside array. So broadside array, all the antenna elements are uniformly spaced. The dotted line indicates the axis of the antenna. The maximum radiation perpendicular to the axis of the antenna on either side. That is why we are getting 8. That is why we are getting figure of 8 pattern on both the top and the bottom direction, maximum radiation and either side. This one is broadside array. And one more thing in broadside array is all the antenna elements will have equal amplitude and equal phase. Equal amplitude and equal phase. It means alpha equal to 0. It means alpha equal to 0. N-fire array. The same arrangement is available. The antenna elements are uniformly spaced with a distance d. The dotted line indicates direction of the dotted line indicates axis of the antenna array. But see the direction of maximum radiation. It is not perpendicular. It is along the axis of the antenna. The second difference between broadside and n-fire array is all the antenna element will have equal amplitude and opposite phase. It means alpha value will not be equal to 0. Some value will be available. The third difference also I will tell you. Let us here the radiation pattern will be in the horizontal manner. You can see the horizontal 8. You can see the horizontal 8 pattern in the case of n-fire array. I can show the diagram also here. In the case of case 1, this one is the radiation pattern for a broadside array. This one is the radiation pattern for a broadside array. So you are getting a figure of 8 in the vertical direction. So here maximum direction. So where is your maximum direction? Maxima is 90 and 270 degree. Minima is 0 and 180 degree. So whatever angle we come across for maximum minima will be opposite for n-fire array. I will show the diagram for n-fire array. This one is the radiation pattern for n-fire array. Same figure of 8 pattern we are coming across here, but in the horizontal manner. You can see the maxima comes across 0 and 90, 0 and 180. Whereas in broadside array 90 and 270. But here 0 and 180. Minima 90 and 270. So maximum points and the minimum points are getting exchanged between themselves as far as broadside array and n-fire array is concerned. So I can tell 3 differences between broadside array and the n-fire array. Broadside array, maximum radiation perpendicular to array axis. N-fire array, maximum radiation along the array axis. Second point, broadside array, equivalent amplitude and the equivalent phase. N-fire array, equivalent amplitude and opposite in phase. Third one, maxima angle are 90 and 270 degree. Whereas in the case of the n-fire array, maxima angle are 0 and 180 degree. If you remember the maxima angle, you can automatically go for the opposite one as minima angle. The fourth one also we can say that the figure of 8 pattern available in vertical manner in the case of the broadside array, but the figure of 8 radiation pattern will be available in the horizontal manner for the n-fire array. So these are the 4 important differences between broadside array and n-fire array. To explain any one array in the examination, broadside array and n-fire array, you must start with the n-element uniform linear array, get an expression for the array factor. From the array factor onwards, try calculating 5 parameters. The first parameter maxima, major lobe, second one null point, third one secondary maxima, fourth one beam width, fifth one directivity. So the procedure is common. You have to start with the n element uniform linear array. Write down the expression for psi. Write down the expression for array factor. Then go to definition of the broadside array, definition of the n-fire array. Then you calculate all the 5 parameters, either with respect to broadside array or with respect to n-fire array. One important difference while doing the derivation is substitute alpha equal to 0 in the case of the broadside array, substitute alpha equal to minus kd in the case of the n-fire array. So any difficulty? If there is any difficulty, no difficulty means I can move to the third topic, pattern multiplication. You can put it in the chat box. Any difficulty regarding broadside array and the n-fire array? Chat information. Anybody? Any clarification, doubts regarding broadside array and the n-fire array? Sai Ganesh. Any difficulty in broadside array and n-fire array? Anybody else? Any other student from the group? You want any explanation in any parameter or any point in broadside and n-fire array? Because broadside array and n-fire array are very important. Any one of the question will have the highest probability in the examination, or sometimes they will ask in the either or. The first question will be either question will be broadside array or question will be n-fire array. Shall I move to the third topic?
Okay, sir.
Okay, let me go to the third topic. Let me go to the third topic. N-element uniform linear antenna array. So before going to the third topic, today I am finishing the session very earlier because there is a disturbance from the nearby source in the place where I am residing. So I am finishing this session. I may finish the session very earlier. So when this topic is over, the session will be over today. So the third topic is third topic is pattern multiplication. So today we have seen broadside array, n-fire array. Topic 5, principle of pattern multiplication. So this question is also having highest probability under 8-mark question. Sometimes they will tell you to explain the principle of pattern multiplication with a suitable example. So like that they are asking. Various broadside array and n-fire array are 16-mark question. So principle of pattern multiplication. I will just read out the statement of this words available. Listen to that. The field pattern means radiation pattern of an array of non-isotropic but similar sources is the product of the pattern of individual sources and the pattern of isotropic point sources having same location, amplitude and the phase. So first of all, in this paragraph, I want to make one differentiation between individual source and a non-isotropic source. Individual source, isotropic source, non-isotropic source. So remember, isotropic source means I was telling in the previous class. Isotropic antenna, reference antenna, theoretical antenna, imaginary antenna, an antenna which does not exist practically is called isotropic antenna. Point source is nothing but an antenna. A point source is nothing but a radiator. What do you mean by point source? A radiator which is very smaller in size, radiating energy into the free space. So isotropic point sources means reference antenna. So the radiation pattern of reference antenna already available. What is non-isotropic? Non-isotropic means practical antenna. So what are the practical antennas we come across? Half-wave dipole, monopole, Yagi antenna, parasitic antenna, dish antenna. Like that, we can say a number of antennas available in practice. They are called non-isotropic antenna. So I want to find the radiation pattern of a practical antenna or a non-isotropic antenna in two ways. So what are the two ways? One way we have already seen. What is the one way we have seen? In the previous case, broadside array and n-fire array, what did I do? I calculated maxima angle, minima angle, half hour point angle. Finally, I have drawn the radiation pattern for each antenna array. So how did I draw this? First of all, I have drawn the arrangement of the antenna. From the arrangement of antenna, the expression for the total field strength ET. From ET, maxima angle, then minima angle, off power point angle, beam width, directivity, secondary maxima. After calculating these parameters, I was able to draw the radiation pattern of a particular antenna array. This is one method. But the another method is pattern multiplication method. So in this method, I am not going to find the expression for ET. I am not going to calculate maxima, minima angle and off power angle to find the radiation pattern of the given antenna array. I am going to apply a shortcut method. I'm going to apply a shortcut method in which I'll be able to draw the radiation pattern of the given antenna array directly without doing any expressions, without doing any manipulation or calculation. Such a method is called pattern multiplication. Such a method is called pattern multiplication. So using pattern multiplication, I am going to evaluate, I'm going to draw the radiation pattern of practical antennas available in the market. Those practical antennas are called non-isotropic antenna. Reference antenna are called isotropic antenna. So for example, 4 antenna elements are given. 4 antenna elements are given means 4 element antenna array. It may be a broadside array or end-fire array, that is secondary. So we have to draw the radiation pattern for a 4 antenna array. I am going to take the radiation pattern of one antenna. That is first parameter. Second parameter, I am going to take the radiation pattern of the reference antenna, isotropic antenna, which is ready-madely available, which is already available. Now I am going to multiply both the radiation pattern. I will get radiation pattern of the given antenna array. Once again, I will explain you. There is an antenna array having 4 antenna elements. I am supposed to draw the radiation pattern for given 4 element antenna array. So I am not going to use the traditional method for drawing the radiation pattern. I am going to apply the principle of pattern multiplication to get the radiation pattern. So what is the methodology behind this principle? First of all, in that 4 antenna array, take one element. Find out the radiation pattern for that one element. You keep it aside on the left hand side. Find out the radiation pattern of the isotropic antenna, which is ready-madely available. Take it on the right hand side. Now you multiply both the parameters, left hand and right hand side, you multiply, you will get radiation pattern of the given antenna array. This method is called pattern multiplication. Let us see it here with an example. Now let us see pattern multiplication with an example. Consider a 4 element array of antenna as shown in figure 1. This one, 4 element antenna array. Look at this diagram. There are 4 antenna elements available. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 antenna elements are available. Small letter D. Uniform spacing between the antenna element. Everywhere small letter D is uniform. And angle pi. The angle between the radiation from an antenna element to the x-axis is nothing but pi. Then what is psi? Psi means, psi means the total phase difference at the point P because of all antenna element is called psi. And what is alpha? What is the phase in the first antenna element and the second antenna element? What is the difference in phase? That is nothing but what is that angle? That angle is nothing but the phase difference alpha. That angle is nothing but alpha. So we are coming across a 3 angle. So do not get confused with the 3 angle. I will once again explain you. 3 angles pi, here psi, and one more angle alpha. So what is pi? Angle between the radiation to the x-axis is pi. What is psi? Psi is the total phase difference because of all the antenna element at point P. Okay, what is alpha? You take the first element and the second element. The difference in phase between these two elements is called alpha, where alpha is called progressive phase shift. What is this alpha value? Alpha equal to 0 for broadside array, alpha not equal to 0 for end-fire array. That is why we come across opposite phase in the case of end-fire array when compared to broadside array. Now see, the 4 antenna elements are available. This is pi. This one is d. Using Pythagoras theorem, this is d cos pi. So what is the path difference between R1 and R2? R1 equal to d cos pi plus R2. What is the path difference between R2 and R3? R2 equal to d cos pi plus R3. R3 equal to d cos pi plus R4. So d cos pi is the total path difference between the adjacent antenna element. What is point P? At point P only I am standing. Why are you standing there at point P? At point P, I want to calculate the total electric field strength because of all the antenna element 1, 2, 3. From the field strength, I want to calculate maxima, minima, off power point. Finally, draw the radiation pattern. This is the traditional method. But that traditional method, I'm not going to follow it here. We are going to follow the principle of pattern multiplication method. Now go to the pattern multiplication. Now these 4 antenna elements are given in diagram B. This is figure 2B. So again the 4 antenna elements are available here. 1, 2, 3 and 4. The distance d is nothing but lambda by 2. See, d is the physical distance, but actual distance between the antenna elements should come in terms of wavelength. So d equal to lambda by 2. So here d equal to lambda by 2. Here also d equal to lambda by 2. Lambda by 2 we have put it. Now I am going to replace the total setup by means of 2 antenna element. Listen carefully. Now there are 4 antenna element in the diagram. There are 4 antenna elements in the diagram. This 4 element antenna arrangement, I am going to replace by a 2 antenna element in a virtual manner, not an actual manner, in a virtual manner. So I am going to place 1 antenna element in the middle of 1 and 2, another antenna element in the middle of 3 by 4 to cover the total setup. So how will you cover the total setup? See the total setup is what? Each one 4 antenna elements, lambda by 2 spacing is available. I am going to place 1 antenna. I am going to replace 1 and 2 by an antenna element placing in the middle. Going to replace 3 by 4, placing an antenna element in the middle. Now the 4 element antenna has become 2 element antenna, but see the spacing, it will become lambda. Previously the spacing is lambda by 2, but now the spacing has come to lambda. How it has come to lambda, you can see it here. Middle portion means here lambda by 4. Middle portion means here lambda by 4. Already lambda by 2 is available. You add all the 3, you will get lambda. I am replacing the total 4 antenna element by means of a 2 element antenna element with a spacing of lambda between them. So keep this in your mind. Now, in this case, this is the, but see, whatever replacement I told you is nothing but an isotropic antenna. Isotropic means imaginary antenna. See, the 4 element antenna element is the actual antenna, but the 2 element antenna is the isotropic antenna. Isotropic antenna I am drawing in an imaginary manner as a replacement. I am not using practically as a replacement. So what does the pattern multiplication says? The first parameter is x. The second parameter is y. What is x? X is nothing but the radiation pattern of individual antenna. What is our individual antenna? Individual antenna 1 and 2 is replaced by a single antenna with a spacing lambda by 2. So with the spacing lambda by 2, we know that figure of 8 pattern will be the general radiation pattern. And what is this one? Radiation pattern of 2 antennas placed at a distance lambda. What is this one? Parameter y. What is parameter y? We have replaced the 4 element antenna by a 2 element antenna in a virtual manner. Physically available is 4. Virtually available is 2. What is virtual? Isotropic. So that radiation pattern already ready-madely available. So draw the radiation pattern here. This radiation pattern is also already known. Now multiply both the radiation pattern. When you multiply both the radiation pattern, you will get pattern multiplication. The process is called pattern multiplication, and the result is radiation pattern of the given antenna. You can see the diagram now. Resultant radiation pattern of the 4 element equal to resultant radiation pattern of individual element into array of 2 units spaced to lambda. So this one is the radiation pattern of isotropic antenna spaced by lambda, radiation pattern of 2 element spaced by lambda by 2. When I multiply, I will get the overall radiation pattern. So this one is the overall radiation pattern of the 4 isotropic element. We are calculating this radiation pattern without using the expression for ET. This method is called pattern multiplication. So any difficulty or clarification pattern multiplication, you can put message in the chat box. Is it clear? Pattern multiplication. Any one or two from the group? Pattern multiplication is clear. Do you require any explanation or clarification on the pattern multiplication? So one student is asking once again explain about the multiplication. Let me go to the multiplication once again. This formula you remember. This formula first you remember. Resultant radiation pattern of the 4 element. What is 4 element? 4 element practical antenna available. It is called non-isotropic antenna. So what is your aim? You have to find the radiation pattern of given 4 element antenna array. How are you going to find? We are not going to use the traditional method. What is your traditional method? Find out the expression for ET. From the array factor expression for ET, calculate maxima, minima, power point, radiation pattern. That method we are not going to employ here. So what does this expression says? Resultant radiation pattern of individual element. Go to the 4 element. Where is our 4 element? This is the 4 element antenna. What is our individual pattern element? I go for a 2 element 1 and 2. What is the spacing between them? Lambda by 2. The antenna elements 1 and 2 are equal in amplitude, equal in phase. Spacing is lambda by 2. So when a spacing lambda by 2 between the antenna element is available, what is the radiation pattern? This one is the radiation pattern already available for a practical antenna. And this one is the radiation pattern ready-madely available for an isotropic antenna. What is isotropic antenna? Isotropic antenna is a reference antenna or imaginary antenna already available. Why we go for reference antenna? I want to manipulate, evaluate radiation pattern for the practical antenna. For that purpose, we go for isotropic antenna. So the 4 element antenna array, the total 4 element antenna setup, I am replacing by a 2 element setup, but having a space of lambda. So where you are keeping the element? Element first in the middle of 1 and 2, element 2 in the middle of 3 and 4 with a spacing of lambda. Why lambda? Because this side lambda by 4, this side lambda by 4. When you add everything, you will get lambda. So 2 antenna element having a space of lambda in the form of isotropic element, radiation pattern ready-madely available. So that is the second parameter. This one is the first parameter. This is computed already from our previous experiment. And this is also ready-madely available. So I am multiplying both the pattern. Why you are multiplying both the pattern? Our formula says like that. I am not telling like that. Our formula says resultant radiation pattern for the individual element. Array of 2 units spaced lambda is available. So this radiation pattern is this one. This radiation pattern is this one. When I multiply them, I will get the overall radiation pattern. So we are getting the radiation pattern without calculating the expression ET. You can see that the figure of 8 is coming directly here in the vertical manner. And these things are converting to the side lobe. So this method is called pattern multiplication. Okay, let me come to the closure of the session. Let us come to the closure of the session. So we come across 3 topics today. 3 topics today. One is broadside array. Definition for broadside array. Expression for psi. Expression for array factor. Calculate major lobe, null point, secondary maxima, beam width and directivity. 5 parameters to be calculated. Similarly, end-fire array. Give the definition for end-fire array. How does it differ from the broadside array? Write down the expression for psi. Write down the expression for the array factor. Calculate major lobe, null point, maxima or secondary maxima, beam width and directivity. So thereby these two topics can be differentiated properly. I already told you 4 differences are there between broadside array and end-fire array. Keep those 4 points in memory. Then we went to principle of pattern multiplication. Pattern multiplication says that with the help of the radiation pattern of isotropic array already available, readily available in the market, we can use that, calculate radiation pattern for the given antenna array without the necessity to compute the value of ET. So 3 topics, broadside array, end-fire array and pattern multiplication we have seen. Let us go to the beginning of let us have a look at this syllabus. So n element linear array, pattern multiplication, broadside array, end-fire array is over. So we are having 4 topics. Concept of phased array, adaptive array. This concept of phased array, adaptive array put together comes under one topic. Then the basic principle of antenna synthesis and binomial array comes under one topic. Then Yagi array. So we have 3 more topics to be covered. These 3 topics will be covered on coming Tuesday morning class. I think that is 1st September, I think. So 1st September, 2nd unit will be completed for you. Because we have 3 topics. One is called phased array, 2nd one is antenna synthesis, the 3rd one is Yagi antenna. So in this unit, broadside array and the end-fire array are totally very, very important when compared to other topics. Sai Ganesh, let us shall I close the lecture?
Okay, sir.
Okay, I thank you all of you for attending this session today. I'm just recording the video. I'm sharing this recording. I will share the link for the video as well as for the materials in the coming days. The first unit PPT is already uploaded in the Google Classroom. So go to the Google Classroom, download the material, go through it then and there. Okay.